Good morning, students. So, let's continue with the software testing further. So, in the last lecture, we have seen the basics of software testing and we have revised software development life cycle. Right? After this, now we'll start with the next topic, that is evolution of software testing. Evolution we mean is how the concept of testing came into existence and it has further evolved into a specific domain which is widely accepted and used, right? So let's look at the beginning. What earlier days what was done is we used to develop the software and simply we debug our program just to make it error free and make it work, right? So other than no other thing was there, like we never look at the users requirement whether they are being fulfilled or not. We never focus on the quality perspective, we never focused on the features of the system. Just we write the code and we simply debug it so that it gets executed. So this is which was done in the early days. Then came is in 1970 we have drafted a new term, that is software engineering, that was used for developing this software. And in that case, software testing was just a simple step that was followed, right, after the development to test the software. Then further in 1978, Myers realized the need to discuss the techniques of software testing in a separate subject. What does it mean is exactly, you know that since you have done your software engineering subject, you know that we work on SDLC, and in SDLC, we just carry out testing as a single step, right? But now, as we move ahead with the software testing, we'll identify that we have lot many techniques, strategies, approaches for software testing which is practically applicable in any software, right? Softwares are of different types, different categories of software are there. For different domain it works accordingly. We have to make it work with a certain level of quality, right? So the Meyer was in you can say the researcher who has identified the importance of software testing, and this is now studied as a separate subject, not being considered as a part of software development, rather an specific domain which has to be taken care of and do in a proper manner. In 1980, software professionals and organizations started emphasizing on quality. Now see, what do you mean by a quality? In general terms, quality means fitness of purpose. If the desired task of user is completed, he'll say it's a quality product. But if the desired task is not completed, he'll say it's not a quality product because he's not satisfied, it is not fulfilling his requirements. So what does this quality means is, the very first thing is all the user requirements must be fulfilled. Along with this, it must work properly. I mean the factors which are responsible for quality is like, for example, security, reliability, maintainability, understandability, portability, traceability, right? So understand, quality is something which depends upon the characteristics of the software. If it is a banking software and it's not secured, we'll say it's not a quality product, though the functions are being carried properly. So quality is something that all these non-functional requirements are as well as you can say the characteristics are being fulfilled, right? Now what leads to quality actually? Testing. Remember, testing is something that leads to quality. The more efficient testing, the more effective testing you do, in turn it is going to enhance the quality of the software, right? So this is what the next focus was on, quality. In 1990, testing tools finally came into the existence. Like generally what we do is manual testing is being adopted. Now we know that if you do something manually, it is error prone because it is being done by the human beings and we commonly make mistakes due to oversight or negligence. But if something is done with the help of a tool, that is automatically or using the computers, definitely the time and the cost will be reduced and the work done will be more effective, right? So the tools came into existence and we were using it. But at the end, when we study manual and automation testing, we'll find that it's not that automation testing is a replacement of manual testing. No, both the things are being carried out finally. Some features are something that has to be done manually, and few are things that can be automated. It's not that the complete system can be automated for testing, right? So both the things has its existence and importance. So let's see about evolution phase of software testing. So if we divide the evolutionary phases based on the timeline, we'll see that before 1957, we call it as a debugging oriented phase. That means our focus was simply to debug the program and make it run simply. Then between 1957 and 78, our focus shifted from debugging to demonstration oriented phase. Demonstrate whether your software is working correctly. That is, correctness was something that has to be demonstrated. Obviously, it will be correct when it is error free. So debugging was also a part of demonstration oriented phase. Then third was between 1979 and 82, that is destruction oriented phase. Now the question would come in mind, destruction testing is a destructive phase or it's in constructive phase? Just think on it. We'll discuss in the next slide why it is a destructive oriented phase, right? Fourth came is between 1983 and 87, that is evaluation oriented phase. How well you are able to perform the testing, right? Is it going to lead to certain level of quality, right? 1988 and 1995, the timeline says prevention oriented phase. That means now our focus was to prevent the errors rather than getting the errors coming into your system. You develop the code and then you test it and eliminate the error. Better you try to prevent the errors in the early stages only, so that the efficiency, or you can say the effort required for testing, can be reduced. So in turn it will lead to quality only. Then process oriented phase says ki, okay, till now we say testing is just a single step activity after coding. But as we move ahead, you will find that testing is not a single activity, it's a complete process like SDLC, right? SDLC is software development life cycle, while for testing we have STLC, software testing life cycle. That means again it's a process having number of phases that has to be executed properly to have a effective testing in place, and in turn it leads to quality product development. So let's summarize these. Debugging oriented phase, simply it says check out, getting the system to run. The term used for testing was check out here, right? And our task is simply debugging, that means just to eliminate the errors. In the demonstration oriented phase, the checkout of the program increased from program run to program correctness. Program run means it's not having the error that was being checked in the previous phase. But is it going to fulfill the user requirement? We are not checking it. In the demonstration, we'll say it must run as well as it must run correctly as expected, or whatever the user requirements are being laid, it is working correctly as per those requirements. Then destruction oriented phase is, now here the separation is being done between debugging and testing. Now commonly what we do is we use the term testing and debugging for the same thing, but now we'll say testing and debugging are two separate activities, though they are you can say they are being used together. Testing is to find the errors, right, while debugging is once you identify the error, debugging is you have to go to a particular location where the error is, identify the cause and eliminate the cause so that that error can be eliminated. That means debugging is a process to you can say locate the error and eliminate the error. For example, you have a C environment, C language is there. In that environment you used to write the code in the editor, right, and you compile it. Once you compile it, it gives you the errors and the warning. That is testing. You compiled it and you have been pop up with a message indicating that these many errors are present and these many warnings are present. Testing is done. Now, as soon as you click on OK, it takes you to the main editor window, and at the bottom a debugger window opens up. That debugger window, what it does is, it states the error, which type of error and in which statement the error is. Right? So this is debugging, locating the error, okay, what exactly is the error and which statement the error is. Now, once you know this, now one by one you keep on eliminating these errors which are being identified in the debugger window. So that is again testing, eliminating the error. So testing is identifying and eliminating the error, while debugging assists testing in identifying the exact location and the type of error. So right, so this is what this clear-cut separation has been done between debugging and testing here. So testing is to show the absence of error, that is true. Right, now a new term came, we have a term as effective testing. So two terms are there, exhaustive and effective. Exhaustive means complete testing, while effective means only testing those functionality or features which are prior or which the resources allow us to complete. Why? Because we never go for exhaustive testing or complete testing. Make this clear, we go for effective testing only, because complete testing is never possible. We have infinite number of inputs that needs to be tested, and the time or the cost or the resources doesn't allow us. For example, if I allocate, say I have to complete the testing in 2 weeks, right? So I have to complete the testing in 2 weeks, and if I have infinite number of inputs, it might take infinite time to complete it. The testing will never be completed in that case. So we can never go for complete testing. This will be better clear in the future slides, or you can see the future lectures, that how the input domain is infinite in nature. We'll discuss later on also. Just understand this, ki it's infinite, so we can never test it for long, infinite duration of time. We have to only test those features which has been identified by the customer. Okay, this is the priority, I want this, and this much level of quality is required. Once it is completed, we say okay, effective testing is done. We never wait for complete testing. So that term is coined here, effective testing. Then came is, okay, do you understand the term destruction oriented phase? We have to show ki error. Testing is what? Showing the presence of error. Remember, it's not that absence of error actually. यहाँ पे I have written absence of error because earlier we used to say that testing is to show the absence of error. But later on we changed our focus from absence of errors to presence of error. Testing is effective only when it is able to identify errors. So it's destruction. हमें error को identify करना ही है, तभी हमारी टेस्टिंग इफेक्टिव होगी. दैट इज वाई दो इट इज डिस्ट्रक्टिव, बट इन टर्न you will say it has a constructive meaning. You have to show the presence. If you know the errors, you will eliminate it and you will improve your system. If you don't know certain error is present, how will you improve it? There is no scope of improvement until and unless you know that some error is present, right? So this is what actually constructive, but we call it as destructive. Then evaluation oriented phase says, okay, you are doing effective testing in the previous phase, but you must quantify it. How much level of quality is achieved? Maybe you are able to achieve just 50%, right? Though the requirement is of 90%, 100% is never possible. So evaluation says you have to evaluate it, determine how much level of quality you are able to provide, and in turn you can improve it, right? So verification and validation techniques are used to enhance the quality of your system. Verification is that is carried out at the intermediate steps, that is after each phase, to verify are we proceeding in the right direction, are we doing our work correctly. While validation is something which is carried out once the software is developed to check that the right product is being developed or not, right? So this is what evaluation phase is. Prevention oriented phase is bug prevention rather than bug detection. So in the earlier 4 steps, we were working on what? You develop the software, and once you compile it, you get the errors and you keep on eliminating it, This was done. So maybe the point of introduction of the error was in the first phase, say requirements. It propagated to the design phase. Accordingly, you prepared the code, so that error got propagated in the coding also. Then you tested it and you identified the error in the code. So in order to make the changes in the code, you have to make the changes in the design also, because it was present there. Once you're making the changes in the design, you have to make the relevant changes in the requirement phase also. That means rework of the complete thing is required because it was identified in the later phase. So what we are trying to do is, we are trying to prevent the error. It's not that 100% we can prevent the error, but yes, we can prevent that if the error is created or identified somewhere or generated, it must not get propagated to the later phases, because in that case more effort, time and cost will be required and you have to work on the entire phases again and again. So that is bug prevention. Say if the requirement is being generated in the requirement phase, try to contain it there itself, try to remove it there itself, so that it is not propagated in the further phases. That is prevention oriented phase. Lastly, it is process oriented phase. So I've told you that it's a process, it's not a single activity. We have a life cycle of testing also, which is known as software testing life cycle, where proper planning, execution and everything is done. So this was just a summary. Details have been provided here, right? You can go through this. Just the debugging oriented phase says it's the early period of testing, right? The term used was checkout here. We were focusing on the debugging, but there was no clear distinction between development, testing and debugging, which we identified in the next phase. Then came is a demonstration oriented phase. The term debugging was continued here, but we were working on demonstrating the correctness now, how well your system is working, the one you have developed. So the purpose of checkout was to show the absence of error, right? The term was absence, not presence as of now, but in the later phases we'll say that we work on the presence of error. So there was no stress on the test case design. See, a new term came is test cases. This is a very important point here, test case design. So you must be clear what is a test case, how to design. We'll be working on different strategies based on black box and white box testing, with the help of which we design the test cases. So what exactly is a test data? In simple terms, you can say it is a test data with the help of which you are going to test your system. So that test data must be properly designed. If you are not taking, say you cannot test for infinite inputs or test data, right? You have to pick some selective test cases which is going to check the complete behavior of the system. So test cases, a set of input that checks the complete behavior of the system at one go, right? So that must be properly designed. So if you just apply 1 or 2 or 10 test cases and it is checking the complete functionality, we'll say effective testing is done. We don't have to check for thousands or billions or millions of inputs in that case, right? That is never possible practically. So we'll work on testing, but in the demonstration oriented phase, test case designing was not considered. Then destruction oriented phase is, it's a turning point, you know that I've told you is, Meyer has suggested that it is very important, and the shift is from testing is to show the absence of error to testing is to find more and more errors. See, it's written here, right? So you have to identify more and more errors, right? Now here we have a separate distinction between debugging from testing, and we stressed on the valuable test cases if they explore more bugs, right? So we have to design test cases in such a way it is able to identify errors, because our aim is to identify errors. Now the importance of effective testing came into existence here, and the importance of early testing was also realized. Early testing means you have to start the testing from the very first phase of software development, that is requirements. It's not a single activity which is carried out after coding, right? That, if you remember the V model, right, V&V model, if you remember, there the early testing concept is being properly represented in that model, that we start the testing from the very first phase of software development. Then evaluation oriented phase, simply it says it stress on quality of the software product, that it can be evaluated at every stage of development. In fact, the early testing concept was established in the form of verification and validation activity which help in producing better quality product. So if you're verifying the software from the very first step, you're validating it at the end, ultimately it is going to fulfill all the users requirement, and if the users requirement are being fulfilled, both functional and non-functional, it is definitely going to be a quality product. Then prevention oriented phase is bug prevention, which is being taken care of here. We have to try the prevent the bug so that it cannot be propagated to the later phases. This is what, and how it can be done with the help of proper test planning, test analysis, test design activities. If you take care of this entire software development life cycle and software testing life cycle, that has to be taken care of. You have to rigorously follow it. So in that case, we can prevent the errors. Planning starts, test plan starts from the very first activity. You have to plan what all the resources are required, what needs to be tested, who is going to test it, what all resources are required. So everything you plan it. Then analysis done. We have so many methods. We analyze which strategy best suits that particular area and we apply it. We design the test cases and we apply it. So ultimately, properly we are going to systematically follow all the testing steps and the testing can be done in a better way. So that is your prevention oriented phase. Then the process oriented phase stresses on the process, right? So we have STLC for that. It's not a single activity. It starts with the software development. They both are parallel activity actually. As soon as you start with the software development, you start with the software testing also, right? From the requirement phase, development as well as testing starts. Then for evaluating how well testing you are doing, we have a model that is known as testing maturity model. If you remember, we have done CMM model for software development, capability maturity model in the last semester. That was for software organization to evaluate the performance or the capability of the process that is being utilized, while TMM is testing maturity model. That means whatever testing strategies or methodologies or techniques you are doing, you have to check how much capable they are to produce a quality product. So this is what the process oriented phase states. So this was all about your evolutionary phases. So just go through it once. You must know the evolutionary phases. Now thereafter we'll start with the basics of testing terminologies, the process and the approaches, techniques, strategies. We all will be discussing this. Thank you for today.